right, everybody, welcome to Axie Chat number 37. Having a little bit of technical difficulties as we get things going, but hey, that's what you guys love about Axie Chat. We're trying to figure it out
Uh,
as we go.
That's what you guys love about baronar amateur hour over here, and that's you'd think we'd have it right after 37 episodes.
Nah,
That number just keeps creeping up on me week
yeah,
over week, man.
we get closer and closer,
Yo,
but
I
it's
just
yeah,
I just want to give a quick shout out. So this is our second Tuesday night Axie night, and I'm really pleased with how these things are turning out. Big shout out to FFPLZ, or
oh
as I
yeah,
just realized, Finish Fast, please, for taking us in. Dude, I don't know about you. It's awesome listening to different people with different perspectives talk about this
oh yeah,
stuff, and
I love it.
new people were coming in, and being exposed to new streamers, and honestly, just the whole thing gives me chills the last couple weeks. So I've really been excited about kind of expanding this whole thing and bringing in new people. It's been awesome.
Absolutely, man. It's been an incredible week. So much happening. We have so many things to talk about. So excited to talk about them. Man, it's just been crazy. And well, let's try to get right into it. Welcome to
All
the
right.
chat, everybody. Welcome to Axie Chat tonight. And yeah, again, so excited that we're doing the
This
awesome
content is for
Axie night.
informational and entertainment purposes only. You shouldn't construe
Think
any
it's
such information or
just a
material as
great,
legal,
great
tax,
thing,
investment,
and
financial, or
excited
other
to hear
advice. We
different
have no
people's
responsibility for your
perspectives and
decisions and are not game devs.
have more stuff to hear and talk about. So yeah, remember guys, NFA and all that crap. And welcome to the public stream. Such man,
There's too much to even play your little intro thing. Anyways, yeah, let's let's move right along, dude. He's right. It's Ronin week. We're maybe I guess a week past Ronin week. We're
dude, I don't
well
even
into this
know.
thing. We're just everything's blowing up. Everything's moving so fast. The freaking sales board's moving so fast. Now that there's no gas fees, I just feel like I don't know, man. We're moving. That's all
For
there is to
sure,
say about
we're
that.
definitely moving, and because of the historical trend of big releases right after Axie Chat, it feels like the whole world's gone by. It feels like a whole year's gone by between our different episodes, which is super awesome, super fun. But it does feel like we've been living in a whole nother Axie world over the last 6 days. And yeah, again, hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the chat. So glad to have you guys here. We're just having a great time. And yeah, let's get right into it. We'll hit a few things before we get into Ronan specifically. Odin let me know we have 62,000 members in the Discord, in the main Axie Infinity
And
Discord.
what was it last week, right before
55.
I was gonna say it's definitely over 5,000 extra. And
It's
I
over
mean we've been
5,000. Yeah.
dude, we've been moving at a clip every week anyways, but I'm wondering how much of that is due to the Ronin hype and people being able to actually, get involved now without having to pay twice as much for an Axie just because of the gas price.
Yeah. So, what's so crazy too, we're getting so many people excited about that, but I mean, Axie prices didn't change all that much. And I didn't think they would right out of the gates. They have basically stayed the same for the most part and still really
Yeah,
until really today. Today they seem to reduce a little bit.
well,
But anyway, yeah.
it takes 5 days for those eggs to hatch, right?
Right.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess to morph up. So,
Yeah, it'll be
yeah, I
interesting.
mean, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
So Odin, I guess maybe we do need to do a quick little PSA. And I don't know why people are allergic to keeping track of their seed phrases, but y'all like go into your seed phrase, write it down on a piece of paper, laminate it, whatever you got to do, engrave it in metal, and then put it in your safe somewhere so that it's safe. Like I cannot believe how many people have spent thousands of dollars and not kept track of their seed phrase, not made sure that their wallet is secure. So guys, come on, be smart. This is real. This is real life. I mean, we do have some great community members, but the team can only do so much. If you lose your absolute secure private keys to your wallet, you're done. So everybody, just be smart, be wise, make sure you know what you're doing. And if you don't know, like, learn and figure it out before you make big moves, before you do things that are irreversible.
And if you don't know, now you know. Adding adding on to that, just because we do have a lot of new people coming into crypto through Axie, don't take a picture of your seed phrase.
Yeah.
Don't. DONT. Don't. Don't write it into Notepad and save it.
Not.
Do not copy it into Gmail and send it to yourself. These are things that I know people have done, but that's a good way to get it stolen from you. So
Right.
Write it down on paper, put it somewhere private for you, and forget about it. Well, I guess don't forget about it, but
remember where it's at. Yeah,
exactly.
Dude, I saw the funniest picture. I think it was on Twitter, of a guy who was looking for an old seed phrase, and it was a list of like the first things that him and his wife's kid had said, and he thought it was like a seed phrase. He was trying to enter it in, and his wife came up to him and he's like, "No, man, those were the first words our kids said." Anyway, it's so funny. And also, just another quick reminder, I guess we may as well, since we're talking about this stuff, and maybe we have new people, maybe new people will watch this or listen to it on the podcast. Don't share your seed phrase with anybody else. I mean, these are exactly the things we want to avoid. So write it down, keep it private, keep it secret, keep it safe.
Dude, I love chat right now. They're making their own seed phrase: potato, umbrella. Shark, cookie, knees. I can't. I can't.
Awesome.
Dude, don't we have news to go over? What's going on
here? We have
a
ton of stuff, but hey, man, we're having fun. But let's see. I do want to talk about some of these kind of basic things in case people, because we got a lot of new people coming into Axie, which is kind of our next slide. The website, the Axie Infinity website, had almost hit 900,000 unique visitors here recently. This was incredible information. We're having.
Is that in a day?
It says it says it's in the last 6 months, so it is over a long period of time. So yeah, it's from October until now, but you can see the upward trend that happened really, really heavy. But I mean, these are unique visitors. We're getting closer and closer to that 1 million engagement mark for the website. Just incredible stuff. So as new people come in, make sure you get the basics down. Make sure you understand what you're doing here in this crypto space. It is a game, but it involves real crypto assets, and so know what you're doing. All right, a few community things before we get into the news. This was super cool. I saw that Flying Falcon is here in the chat. Welcome, Flying Falcon. This was such great and awesome news. Donating enough SLP to sponsor 50 new scholars. So that would be at least 150 Axies that YGG can create with the SLP that he donated to allow that to happen. This stuff warms my heart. Yeah, gets me so excited. And again, these are the type of community members we have, whales or whatever you want to call them, big asset holders. But these are the things they do.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. These are the things that big community members do, and I love it. I love seeing that that's what happens. It's good for the market. It's good for adoption. It's good for especially these people who I know they have the possibility of earning a lot more than maybe just their standard minimum wage in the area. So awesome. And what a neat thing for Flying Falcon to do. So the next one, just wanted to again shout out Axie Night. We've talked about it probably enough, but Enjoi, what a cool idea. Thanks for pulling this off, and excited for FF Please, and really excited for VZ. We'll have to, hopefully he puts that up on YouTube or something, because we'll be busy in the second hour. I guess it's the third hour.
Yeah, and guys, just for those listening, for those watching after the fact, we do this every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. We've got a streamer that I guess sponsor isn't the right word, but we work with, and then we've got one that comes on at 9. Again, for those of you who aren't aware what goes on with Axie Chat, we've got the Axie Chat public stream at 8 p.m. and then the private stream at 9 on our Discord. If you've got one of our all access passes. So just throwing that out there for those of you who are new and don't understand how this all works. Anyways.
Yep. More community news. It looks like so Cuckoo posted this. he posted that someone bought real property with his earnings from Axie Infinity, had a picture of it. So cool to see things like these. These are the stories that get me really excited. There's going to be a lot of people who use their assets and are going to be able to do amazing things like this. And it's just awesome to see people moving up in the world. I feel like cryptocurrency can be a great equalizer, this digital nation that can go across all nations. And it's exciting to see stuff like this. All right, so something happened. I like the name of it. I think it's pretty cool. The Great Migration. And so what does it mean? And let's break it down. Let's go through it kind of point by point. We got a great article with lots of great information. I guess this is a little thing too. Like if you're listening to this, you're new to it, you're trying to figure it out, spend some time reading through the announcements. Spend some time reading through the articles, because a lot of the things that get asked over and over in Discord, I mean, really, if you just took a moment to read and see what it says, you probably find your answer without. And the people that are in there, the mods and stuff, we're happy to do our best to help. But a little bit of educated advice is going to get you. I mean, a little bit of educated questions is going to get you a lot further when it comes to the chat and getting information too. Okay, so this next slide that we have up is just kind of showing the migration paths. I thought it was a great slide, helpful. You can upgrade some things directly on the Ethereum main chain. Some things, you could do the upgrade as part of the deposit. So, and by deposit, I'm talking about moving assets from the Ethereum chain to the Ronin chain. So I don't know if there's a whole bunch more to say about this particular slide, but it just kind of shows how it works. And we ended up with new Axis and new SLP, which I didn't know was going to happen. Did you have an idea that we were going to see brand new tokens?
I mean, months ago, no. But we did have those notices on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko stating that we would need to upgrade, I think early last week. So there was some semblance of knowledge that it was going to happen. What I don't think most people understood, though, is once you transferred it over, you wouldn't be able to sell it via Uniswap and all that sort of stuff, the centralized exchanges as well, which is why there's been, a lot of questions about what's happening with the price with SLP. Why can't some people sell, and why can some, why is it working for some people? And I'm sure we'll get into that in a little bit, but this is why those questions are arising, is because now we've got two different assets with the same name essentially. Unless you want to count the whole small love potion to smooth love potion.
So smooth.
Yeah. Let's move on.
All right.
We'll get to that when we get to it.
Okay, so right out of the gate is something that's huge, and that is that the breeding fee changed from a small amount of Ethereum, 0.005, to now being 1 Axis. I did the figuring, and because Ethereum is on the rise, these are fairly similar types of amounts. It kind of just depends on where the different ones are and at any given time. But the one thing I liked throughout this announcement is the team's commitment to rebalance these issues if we see a market that's going to look like it may be problematic or may have issues in the future. So
right. Let's say Axis hits $200 a share. They very well may make that half an Axis as the breeding fee. These are things that they're gonna look at the market, determine whether or not it's healthy, and if the price of Axie is going too high because the breeding fee is too much, and again, these are all this isn't necessarily happening right now, but these are things that they may look in the future and be able to adjust.
Yep, exactly. And I'm just glad to hear them saying that. And that's what I expected from the very beginning. I know that we're just barely into it. Like you said, what was it? Maybe yesterday or earlier today, the earliest migrators were able to have their first kind of batch of breeding that took place. So we barely are getting any sort of sense of how breeding is going to go on the Ronin chain. And I'm just excited to see what happens. We all kind of expected, at least I kind of expected, some downward pressure as far as pricing, and I was a little bit surprised that we didn't see that immediately right out of the gate. But it is what it is, and we'll see what happens. With SLP going up, it's kind of hard for people to sell their Axies as cheap as maybe they might have been willing to, because they can't just easily acquire SLP in order to replace and breed new Axies. So,
right. And from the other standpoint, this is a huge thing in terms of the value of Axis, right? We've kind of long since been guessing as to what the actual utility is outside of the staking and the treasury and all this sort of other stuff. And the teams kind of consistently come back and said we don't really see it as a payment token. And in this way, they're not really. I mean, they're sort of using it as a payment token, but SLP is the primary payment, and Axis is like I don't know, an Axis token. It's your ability, right? To breed.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it still isn't just a straight payment token, but both of them become utility tokens, right? So adding one more aspect to the Axis token. I mean, in that way, they were kind of treating Ethereum as a part of the utility. I thought of it more as a payment, a breeding payment because of what Ethereum is. So I don't know. I think that's a fair characterization, Enjoi, to call it kind of at least a quasi payment token.
Sure, but on the other side of things, it's the first real sink we're seeing for Axis. It's the first thing that's taking your Axis and redistributing it, putting it back into that treasury. So, I think a lot of people were expecting something like this at some point. I don't think they were expecting it with this Ronin change and with this breeding change.
No, I wasn't.
It's nice. No, absolutely not. But it's nice to see that some of these things that we've kind of been speculating on are starting to come into play here.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I actually anticipated definitely that we would be using Ethereum, which was one of the reasons I thought that they were encouraging people to migrate Ethereum over to the Ronin chain as soon as they did. I like this change, though. I like this a lot. It makes more sense to me. It makes sense that in two ways. It makes sense that we want to have Axis be a payment token in some ways, I believe. I think that that's important for the ecosystem. And I've been saying that for a while, so that's nothing new from me. But secondly, with respect to the Axis token being part of this aspect, what we're doing is we're putting Axis back into the treasury. And I think that's crucial because eventually we're going to run out of the play to earn allocations. We're going to run out of some of those initial allocations. And so the treasury needs to contain those, I believe, so that we can basically continue to give rewards, maybe even better rewards. Who knows? Maybe even, who knows? Maybe more valuable in USD probably in 5 years, right? Or 6 years when the play to earn allocations go away. But we still need to be able to offer through the DAO, through voting, through community treasury. We're going to need to continue to offer Axis tokens to have to reward continued play of this game. So I think it's wonderful. We need to get those Axis tokens back into the treasury, and I know that's been talked about. We need Ethereum there in the treasury too. So it was kind of a surprise.
And that's exactly actually what I was going to bring up is they've also talked about balancing these things and almost using it as an ETF in some sort of way, right? A bucket of various different currencies.
Yeah.
So we had the ETH coming in from the sales, and now we've got the Axis in there. And another thing that they might consider balancing in the future is how much of each of these different things are required from different areas, from the marketplace, from the breeding fees. From people coming into the system and just using fiat once we've got our fiat onboarding.
Oh yeah, man.
So having a healthy basket or a Venn diagram, what's the word I'm looking for? Is important long term, just in to make sure that we've got a stable. Everything branches out from the treasury, so having stable currencies in there makes things more stable all over the place.
Totally agree. And, think about right now with Ethereum, I don't know what's happening with Ethereum, man, but it would be a lot easier for me if I were bringing on some fiat and I had the capacity to simply buy access directly with fiat. I might be more willing to do that as opposed to converting a coin that I don't know. I just don't know which one's going to outperform which one, right? I think long-term Axis probably has more potential even than Ethereum, but that's a hard thing to say. Ethereum has a lot of potential. So I don't know. It's going to be fascinating when we get some of these things done. But I mean, we guess we kind of talked about this. And while you're kind of looking around, I'll just keep talking about it. This is the first time that we have a specific commitment that things are going into the treasury. So, and specifically in this article, they say that this means that Sky Mavis no longer has centralized ownership of the breeding fee. And that's pretty amazing because the SLP just gets burned. The only portion of the breeding fee that is being retained is going into the treasury now. So it truly is a big step toward decentralization, which, God, that's freaking exciting. That's
for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Wow, it looks like our viewer count went up significantly if I'm seeing things correctly. So, yeah, we're glad to have everybody here. Maybe that means Jiho may be on his way. So, other announcements as part of this. So, I don't know how I kind of precognitively knew this, but Axies were just going to go basically to adults now. So we're going to lose that cute little petite phase. It looks like we're not going to have the juvenile phases. Instead, we just kind of have an egg and then it goes right to an adult. And that's fine. So when you migrated them, if you had any petites, they just instantaneously went to adults, which was pretty nice, pretty cool. But all of this makes sense to me too. I liked it. It was cute to see the different phases, but really, if we're just talking about time and we're not talking about Ethereum transactions, it probably doesn't make sense to have those different phases. It's probably just kind of an annoyance. You triple click instead of single click,
right,
in order to do that. So
and I was kind of curious about why they might do that as well. You know, I think primarily if we're looking to onboard, you know, potentially millions of players here, ease of use and understanding is going to be one of the biggest factors that needs to be paid attention to. So, you know, why just have an in-between space to look at, you know, a cute little stage of your baby Axies? You know, it just, I don't know. I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I totally think it makes sense. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll have like a petite SDK type of application that lets us see what our Axies would have looked like in the petite form as part of some game or something. I don't know. But yeah, cool stuff. So then it's kind of funny. We're talking about number 2, and on the slide, I have it kind of in just normal sized font. Number 3 to me was a huge announcement. I saw Cloud actually on Twitter. I think he circled number 3 and he said something about how this is the only announcement that matters. I think that's an oversimplification, Cloud. But I agree. This is a huge thing. And I just threw a few of my cuter Japanese Axies up here just to kind of show them off, I guess, but also maybe make people realize how cool these Japanese region Axies are. And now they are scarce. They're nowhere near as scarce as some of the other things. They're nowhere near as scarce as Christmas parts. But they are freaking cool. And as we head closer and closer to 500,000 and we move then closer and closer to 1 million Axies and then maybe 5 or however things go, these are going to become more and more scarce. I've noticed, you know, you can still acquire some Japanese region Axies relatively cheaply right now. So if you are a scarcity play type of person, you might want to look at those because I don't know how long that'll last. I don't think it'll last longer than a month or 2. What do you think, Enjoi?
I think the best answer that I can give is I meant to buy some before the show because I knew that you'd bring this up and I forgot. So I'm going to pick one up to you right now.
While we're talking. Yeah.
That's all you got for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have to. I know it's part of the thing. And, you know, we talk about things. We don't talk about everything. but we talk about, at least not on the public show, but we talk about things. So we're going to, and there's absolutely no question that now these Japanese Axies are in a class of their own. They were not super simple to breed anyway. You had to kind of know that little side trick with the Dapper thing in order to do it. So yeah, anyway, rewarding people who went through the effort to figure that out and kind of go through the complications that were required to breed those Japanese part Axies. Yeah, all right. Well, anything else you want to say about those? I mean, I think it's freaking neat. I think that
No,
was a great move.
I think that these were all good changes. I'm very pleased with the Ronin rollout in general. I didn't expect it to include all of these other little updates. I think with any of these things, really the only thing that you could potentially look at as a misstep isn't even a misstep. There's always going to be some technical issues. There's always going to be, it would have been nice to know that it would take me 3 days to get my Axies moved over. But that's just because of the sheer amount of people and the slowness of the blockchain. So, it's stuff that, again, we're, as Jiho says all the time, we're on the bleeding edge here.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff isn't stuff that's been done before. It's not stuff that you can really look through a looking glass and anticipate. So, no, from my perspective, again, I think all good changes. I'm excited about a lot of this stuff, and I don't know, just good update overall. Which
it's so good.
you just can't complain about.
Yeah, I mean, now it's just I'm realizing how strong the time factor is. Like, I wanted to print these, and just go for it. And hey, thanks, Britt. Thanks everybody who subbed and followed. I just wanted to get printing these, and I realized, like, yeah, I am, and I've bred a lot of them, but it still takes time. You have to wait 5 days, and as we were kind of talking about earlier in Axie Chat, like 5 days in Axie can feel like a year. It's kind of funny how that happens, and I want to do more and more, but some of my moves that I've got all planned out, they require that the new Axies be completed to adults. And so I'm here going, golly, now I'm waiting, but that's good. It's exciting. That's a big part of this game. A big part of the factor is time, and I could see them potentially increasing the time factor if we see too much breeding too quickly too. I think every one of those components, axis, SOP, and time, those are the real costs there, and any one of them could be changed to fit whatever factors they feel are necessary.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, Psychout mentioned in a podcast a long time ago that they've got a lot of different levers that they can pull to make sure the economy is running smoothly. And, again, I think that the more of these levers that I see emerging, the more I believe in the overall economy, just because I know that they can kind of tweak things and make things work. So, yeah, it's I'm pleased.
Yeah, and I am excited. Cloud, I just scoped you there in chat. Welcome, good to see you. I think we saw Coco, another lady. Gosh, every time I name people, I feel terrible. So I gotta stop doing that, I guess.
You gotta stop, man.
It's hard not to, though. It's exciting to have everybody. It really is an Axie family, and thank you everybody. But yeah, I'm interested to see what those grasses, the flower beds and stuff do. If those are gonna help. If they're truly going to help somehow with the incubation time, that would be so incredible. I mean, I would absolutely love that. Even if I could just assign one of those to one breed, you know what I mean, to the egg as I do it. That would be actually so neat if it went that way somehow. I would that would just be so cool, and then everybody would be demanding those items, I think. So they could speed up their breeding time, which would be so cool. Yeah, all right. Well, I know there's some... Nope. Yeah, go ahead.
People are over here beating me to the Japanese Axies I wanted. That's all right.
Oh, no. So, let's see. The old Ethereum contract Axies have been paused. Really, you can't do anything with them right now. It does sound like they're going to enable transferability back to Ethereum in some form. I wasn't quite sure about that. That was further in, maybe, you know, I might not have pulled that slide, but it says that somewhere in the documents that they've paused that for now, but they may allow Axies themselves to come back to the Ethereum chain for some purposes. And I assume that that would be so they can be sold like in OpenSea, or, you know, other things could be done with them.
Yeah, I would assume that's one of the reasons. The other reason, again, you know, that none of this stuff has really been done before. So I think another piece is just a failsafe. If one of your Axies got stuck on ETH because it was mid breed, or, you know, stuck on the marketplace, or you know, mid morph, like, you know, they still have the ability to potentially pull those down. So yeah, I think that there's a couple of different reasons. The other piece, like you said, is the huge benefit of crypto is the ability for decentralization, for interoperability with different things. So being able to pull it off and potentially selling it in side chains, or, you know, whatever marketplaces, is I don't necessarily think is something that they want to stop long term.
Right.
But my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's so, again, being wise, the team's being wise. They're giving themselves plenty of opportunities, not really putting themselves into a corner anywhere. And one thing I guess I would say on that, like, I've read some people in the Discord getting upset about different things, but remember, like, we're not talking about what we want to have happen today or tomorrow. We're talking about that. Yeah, I mean, that's important, but we don't want to make decisions that will screw things up for a year from now, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now. So we've got to think both terms. So just remember, like, if you're dealing with something that's annoying, that's really annoying right now, and I apologize if people are. I know there's some things, and we said before, I think it was very clear beforehand, there are going to be issues. You can't have a major change like this and not have some things happen that you don't anticipate. That's just the nature of the beast. That's the way it's going to go. But remember, these are most likely temporary things that we're dealing with, and if they're negatively affecting you, that sucks, and I'm sorry, that's really sucky. But we can't have situations that are going to negatively impact the future of the game, where this game is just getting going. We know on the roadmap we've got Battles version 2 coming, we've got Land Play coming, we've got Project L coming, we've got all of these things that are coming in the future. Soon, some of them are coming according to the roadmap. So, you know, hopefully you can be patient and realize that these are just kind of temporary blips, and things are going to work themselves out. And we've got to leave ourselves plenty of space, plenty of options for the future, which is really why I think they changed the Axis and SLP tokens, was to make sure that they have plenty of flexibility moving forward, plenty of flexibility for them to work on both chains. And that they will be able to do what we need them to do moving forward. Wait till we have to do another upgrade. See how the community responds.
Yeah, ETH v2 comes out, Ronin's gone, everybody merge back. No.
No, don't say things like that. But
Yeah,
anyway, who knows? Who knows?
I do have to throw out, though, how amazing was that timing for Ethereum gas price to just drop to nothing once Ronin magically comes out. Like, seriously, next day it was like 25 gas price.
Yeah, that was crazy, and then it went right back up. I mean,
right back up.
It's been a wild ride.
Guys, Ronin is the Axie team putting the future of Axie into its own hands.
100%.
We don't have to count on Ethereum. We don't have to count on Loom. We don't have to count on any of these random side chains that are popping up. Got a mutable X. It's still not launched after supposedly being out like a month ago. So, yeah, man, we're moving. This is great.
Yep, it is. Okay. So here's our rebranded SLP. We've got our Smooth Love Potion. Yeah, I like it. Throwing up that hoodie. Anyway, I did turn on some Luther Vandross. You know, it's not really my style, but it was fun to listen to for a few hours. But it did make me feel really smooth. Maybe I'm feeling like really, calm today. I do think I'm maybe a little bit more calm today. Maybe it was the soulful music that I listened to before. But I like it. Smooth Love Potion. I mean, I think they just wanted to keep SLP, right? So they just tried to come up with an S word that made sense.
Well, and they said the reason that they moved it or they changed the name is because, people like me and you were assuming that because there's a small love potion, there's got to be a medium love potion, and there's got to be a large love potion. And
well,
I'll
Trump
be
even
honest,
said that, by the way, when I talked with him, he talked about that.
I'll be honest, it might have just been easier to make a LLP rather than try and force the name into Smooth Love Potion. But you know what? It's growing on me. I kind of hated it right off the bat, but it definitely has the meme potential that we know and love. So
100%. And honestly, it doesn't make sense in a lot of ways to have a medium love potion and a large love potion. It really just I would assume it would scale anyway. Maybe we'll still have some form of rare love potions. I don't know. But honestly, this made way more sense to me. It's already an established thing. There's still the flexibility to do whatever they want to do. I mean, what? An unsmooth love potion?
Rough love.
I knew
you set me up for that. God damn it!
I knew you'd take the bait.
Oh, guys, I'm quitting Axie Chat. We're gonna need FF, please back up in here. Somebody take my place. I just got baited.
Sorry, man. I couldn't help it. All right. Okay.
Change the slide. Let's go.
I did. We're moving on. So some of the greatest stuff that I see is in the what's coming of this article. So incredible. So everybody who's asking again in Discord about some of these things, like, read the article. It's coming. They're working on it. Not everything can happen immediately. So we're looking forward to Fiat. That's giant. Being able to just onboard directly onto Ronin, presumably into whatever token you decide you want to onboard onto. If you want to, I guess if there's an exchange that you can buy. Otherwise, well, I guess it has to be, right? You can only really onboard to Ethereum without some form of an offering, because they're not SLP and Access isn't available directly from the team.
Right.
So
and I showed you a couple of Fiat gateways that have just kind of started taking off and taking more countries as customers, that are really quite smooth. So I would anticipate that coming up pretty quick. But knowing their love of delaying news updates, I wouldn't expect it that quick. The really exciting thing, obviously the mobile migration is cool. Realistically, it'd be nice to just see that in the app, so you don't have to have multiple applications. But I don't know how reasonable that is. Again, ideally the goal here is to make onboarding as easy for people as possible without even really realizing that they're dealing with cryptocurrency. So it makes sense to me that all of this could be baked into the same application that we're playing on. Now the Ronin Dex, that's the exciting part here, more than anything else.
For sure.
What do you think about that? Are you ready?
I am so excited. I am excited about the Ronin Dex. That is so cool, because what that means is, Axis. See, it says SLP Axis, etc.
Etc.
You know what etc. means?
Yeah, it means Baronar's would trade his wood. Yeah,
that's exactly what that means.
I mean, here's the deal, guys: is we don't know how many different resources there's going to be that we can trade. We know that there's wood, stone, leather. We also know, potentially shells, and we saw a bunch of different variations. Yeah, goo and diamonds or gems or whatever they call them.
Yep.
So it's very possible I see that we could trade all that stuff for SLP or Axis after farming it in game. So having a place, within the ecosystem, within Ronin, where there's zero fees or, low fees compared to Ethereum,
Yeah.
because you don't know, they might charge you a little bit of access to make a trade or something like that, which could go back to the
Treasury.
treasury and
Yep.
the community. But I mean, that's huge. It means that you don't have to interact with the main Ethereum change and go on Uniswap and learn all that other stuff. It's
Yep.
it's built in. It's easy to use for people who potentially are new to crypto.
I like that they
The
say it's one of their top priorities too, man.
it's got to be. It's
Yeah.
got to be because now they've pulled everybody off onto this chain, and they need a place for people to, this the second people offload assets, it's lost money, it's lost income, it's lost revenue from the marketplace.
Yep.
So having all that stuff stay on there, one, it keeps people engaged, but two, it saves people money because they're not again paying all this transfer fees. Um,
Yeah.
the
So 1 and 3 put together, I think that this is important for people to realize. Like, so if you claim SLP and there's a fiat gateway, and you can use the DEX if you need to. Basically, what this is meaning is like people are going to be able to claim SLP on Ronin, no fees, and then they're going to be able to transfer that SLP into fiat in some sense. So that's where we're headed, and so that's great for everybody. Great for the scholars, great for anybody who's using Binance, and who has concerns right now about the SLP. And I know there's giant concerns about that right now. And let's see, is now the best time to talk about that? Maybe it is. Maybe just. Do you want to jump into that? Maybe just talk about the crossover. I mean, I can kind of summarize my view of it too. It's just a strange situation, everybody. So since
I'm not sure what he's talking about, so go on.
sorry, the conversion from SLP to smooth love potions and what that's done to the market.
Oh yeah, might as well, real quick.
Yeah, so I don't want to get into it too deep, but the old. I think that's what's happened is it's an unnatural increase in price with respect to the old token. It doesn't make any sense. The old token, the only utility it has, I mean, some people have suggested that people are collecting the old token. Whatever. I don't believe that. Why? That doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe they are, but I don't think that that's what's driving the huge price. I think that what's happened is the market cap has gone down because people are converting from the old token to the new token. So it appears to traders who are not involved with Axie Infinity, who don't know what's going on, that suddenly the market cap is going down, and so they think that their tokens are becoming more valuable. And so people who aren't connected with Axie Infinity think that they're making a play, a value play. And I've been wrong before, so maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I think they're making a huge mistake. I think that they don't know what they're doing. They don't understand Axie Infinity. They don't understand that Small Love Potion, the old token, is obsolete now. It's completely gone into obsolescence. And so they're spending a lot of money on a token that actually has virtually no value.
Yep.
And, it's a trick. And so I know that there's some people in the community that are upset that they converted their token or whatever, migrated their token and can't take advantage of it. But it wouldn't have happened if people had held on to their old token. So,
well, there's another important piece to that too, and I don't mean to cut you off, but
yeah,
the other
no,
piece
go.
is that most of the people who are, and Odin summarized it pretty good in chat, but most of the people who are providing liquidity to the liquidity pool pulled out to migrate their SLP over. So there's very little liquidity in those liquidity pools, which means that there's larger price movements. And so, even if people were able to transfer back over and take advantage of the high price, they'd sink the price
Exactly.
very, very quickly because there's very low liquidity. So,
Correct.
like Baronar was saying before, it's almost a fake price in a way.
Yeah.
If you have, maybe a couple thousand SLP to sell, maybe you could get away with it. But you're looking at, 10, 20% price movements downwards if you look to sell. So,
Yep.
again, we're all hoping that that's what it,
Oh
remains.
my gosh. I mean,
as
yeah, that would be wonderful.
and realistically, there is a crisis for Axies. We need more Axies.
Yep.
There is breeders are able to breed quicker and cheaper due to being on Ronin. So there is a reason for SLP to prop up and hopefully for the long term.
The
But
one
for people,
Yeah,
go
one
ahead.
problem real quick about that though is, so if SLP stays high, Axie prices cannot drop, and they won't drop, because what will happen is people will be more encouraged to just sell their SLP as opposed to using their SLP to breed if they can't make back at least what they would otherwise make, or if they have to wait 5 days where they could just hit click and sell their SLP for as much as they could if they were trying to breed Axies. So the great thing about this, to be honest, is in Axie Infinity, the way the tokens are designed, like, it's good if it goes up and it's good if it goes down. It just kind of depends on where you're at and what your play is. So I guess everybody, please just be patient, be smart. I don't know what else to say about that directly. Anyway, anything? I kind of cut you off. I feel bad.
No, I think that's the majority of it. We all expected there to be a lot of shakeups heading into Ronin V2 or Stage 2. This is just one of those, and if you bear with it for a couple weeks, I think we're going to see things settle it back into a pattern. What that pattern is right now, we don't quite know. We can make some guesses, but don't panic, don't get too excited, don't just stay level,
Yep.
like Luther Vandross.
Smooth. Stay smooth. Stay calm.
Smooth.
All right. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to cover on that. This is what I was talking about, the bridge. There will be, so right now we already have, we can do the bridge from Ethereum to Ronin, but in the future there will be a bridge back from Ronin to Ethereum. So again, if you're frustrated for one reason or another, like if you wanted to shard an Axie or something like that, and you migrated it over, I think that there's the ability still to move that over in the future, even though we don't have that right this moment. So, and we'll talk about mutations, so hang in there.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because we just saw one of the Agamo Genesis, get bought out from Niftex, one of those sharding platforms. So that very well, knowing that was a high-profile $1 million buyout, may have been one of the reasons why they're just pausing these contracts rather than, shutting them down.
Right.
It makes a lot of sense. Again, we're in this decentralized space. It makes a lot of sense to continue letting people build on top of what Axie's built rather than just pull us into this walled garden.
And if
so
you
this
had,
this is all very important.
Yep. And if you had Axies on the Ethereum chain, they're paused. So you actually have kind of a cool, a cool obsolete token that proves you were involved. And there's only a certain number of Ethereum addresses that will ever have those. Okay, the next part, and Enjoi, if you can make sure we talk about mutations. I think there's a slide. I don't think we skipped it, but we do need to for sure talk about mutations before we wrap up today.
All right.
So the airdrop is still on track. In fact, I think someone asked Jiho, maybe I did, I can't remember, but his response was, well, we're a lot closer to the airdrop than we were before.
Yeah, that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jiho.
Yeah, it wasn't the most specific response, but it is true. I think that with the airdrop in place, it makes it a lot easier for people to claim their access, especially, maybe not everybody has this giant airdrop. They just owned a team of Axies, for example, and maybe it wouldn't even have made sense for them to try to claim their access reward, their airdrop. But now that it's on Ronin in a gas-free environment, it kind of doesn't matter what the size is. They should have the ability to claim their access tokens because they're in a gas-free environment. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Just a quick reminder that has already been determined. That's not something you can do anything to participate in now. It was something that was done clear back. I think it was October of last year when Axis was first released. So don't panic. If you weren't part of it, you just aren't, and that's okay. You're still in it early. We still don't have land. We still don't have the new battles version. We still don't have Project Hell. There's still plenty of things to come. Just get excited, learn, figure out how to get involved, and make yourself happy by being an Axie Maxi, an Axie addict. That's what we are, man.
Speak for yourself.
I know you're even worse than an addict.
I just live it. Compulsive, yeah, basically. All right. Is this getting into mutations? This is pretty close.
It is.
All right. Lead us in.
Okay. So.
Okay.
Well, no, this isn't it yet. But still, this is important. So this is more what the team is telling us. Like, they're going to be paying attention to what's going on. They're paying attention to how breeding is going to go. And in fact, they're thinking about having an algorithmic breeding calculation to determine the right going price for Axis and SLP in order to do the breeds. And, we'll see if that ends up coming to be, if that ends up being something that makes sense. But I can see that. I think that would be awesome. Like, it's kind of like the way fluctuations happen with different tokens, right? Like, it costs this much to buy this token right now, and if you want to do this breed, it costs this much to breed these two Axies today, right now. No promises as to what it would be more or less into the future. So, I mean, that's kind of an interesting idea. Yeah. And then they need to increase the 1,000 transaction limit for some
100.
Some people. 100. Yeah, it needs to be closer to 1,000. Well, I don't know. I mean, 100 makes some sense. We don't want it to be over the top, but like if you own a bunch of items or something, say you decide you want to buy a whole bunch of common items or something like that, it's really easy to hit that 1,000 transaction limit. 100. Why do I keep saying 1,000, man?
You're just used to adding zeros. It's a good problem to have.
It is. I don't mind. I do hope that they allow bundles to be gifted, because that helps a lot in that 1,000. Or, God damn it!
Oh my God! Sometimes I swear to God, he makes himself sound stupid on purpose. Like, he's just trying to get a laugh out of you guys. I know it.
Anyway. All right.
We got 3 minutes left. We gotta move. We gotta pass it over to V's. He's gotta put these people to sleep with his Luther Vandross voice.
For sure.
I actually don't know what V sounds like, so.
Excuse me. So, welcome to the Age of Ronin. Okay. I just wanted to point out really quickly that the community treasury is receiving. I don't think technically they haven't going into the treasury address yet, but they're going to have the breeding fees. And I pulled this just a little bit before. Look at that, man. Here in the marketplace fees, almost 61 Ethereum so far since Ronin has been.
It's a week.
And almost 12,000 Axis. So 12,000 breeds is my expectation. I don't think there's anything else that Axis is spent on right here. So
no, not yet.
12,000 breeds. That's not enough, folks. That's not anywhere near enough.
I mean, that's $120,000 US in a week. So if we're looking at these numbers growing, it's just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah. If it's $10, yeah. So we got to breed, folks. And it's so funny. Somebody was talking about how they're just smashing Axies together. If you just smash Axies together, you're going to end up with floor. And I mean, that's great, I guess, in a way, but I don't know. Be intentional, have a plan. Quickly, Art. I announced in Twitter that I'm kind of running a contest to name my double mystic. So get on there and come up with a better name than Enjoi came up with, please. And I do like Miski's name. Leaky's kind of cute.
I mean, Miski's name is basically the same name I gave him, just different. So.
Oh wow, that's deep. That's meta. Okay.
I wouldn't use the word deep either.
Okay, moving on. So I did really like FedPed. If you haven't seen that breed, the Breed Mania little banner, awesome. I love it so
Dude,
much.
it
Great
is
job.
awesome.
And then Ransu did a great job on that victory little scene with a very knocked out human. I like that a lot. Esther, wow, took this incredible piece and kind of made it her own. You know, play
Oh, that's
to
cool, too.
earn. If you look closely at the slide, you can see all the different mobile phones spelling out that play to earn with Axie. I thought
Very
that
cool.
was so cool, like a nice mosaic piece. So good job, Esther. And you already mentioned this, but we had the Niftex buyout. It completed, and now we see Coco with a pretty cool Axie icon there.
Super rare, 1 of 3, Agamo Genesis,
Yeah.
first of its kind. Yeah, man, these things are awesome. Big props to Coco for again bringing it home.
Yeah, and congrats to
Was
everybody
this?
who bought in and participated in the shard, because I think it turned out pretty good for people who own shards.
Yeah, I think I bought half an ETH maybe a month or two ago, and I woke up to 2.5 ETH in my wallet. So that was cool for sure.
Yeah,
And there's still
amazing.
one sharded. There's still one sharded.
Yep. Yeah, I'm interested, and there is a claim on that one too, right? If I remember right.
I
I thought there was.
don't know.
I can't remember.
Coming at you next week. We got the scoop.
Yeah, for sure. Wanted to quickly go over the weekly average users. Look at the total new installs, almost 12,000 new users. This is all within the last week.
Yo, and we blew out iOS test flight.
Oh,
which,
yeah, that's right, 10K.
has a cap of 10K people. So yeah, if you have iOS, you're gonna have to play on your computer for the time being.
Yep.
If you don't already have it installed, we're just growing too fast. We're blowing through everything. Very cool.
Yep. So next week, this slide, we're hopeful. Cloud. I saw Cloud in here before. I saw him tweet about it, and it looked like Board Elon had responded. But wow, could be huge. Really want a great showing for Board Elon. Remember, he has like 1.8 million followers in Twitter, so this could be really big. I mean, it's not something like we're not dependent on anything like that. Somebody was saying something like that in Twitter. We're not at all, but we would love it if we had another million people suddenly jumping into Axie Infinity. It would be wonderful. So hopefully this happens. Hopefully we can get some of his Twitter followers to jump on to Axie Chat with us. Everybody be super supportive and positive. Could be amazing. So we did have this tournament. I didn't get a chance to watch it. This is the Elite Open. Chief and Axe ran it. Sounded like it was awesome and fun, but I didn't hear who ended up taking this one home. So Indus or somebody in the chat, can you tell us who, or do you know? Enjoi.
I missed it too.
I've been so incredibly busy. So
yeah, this last week's been
Iron
crazy.
Man. Wow, way to go, Iron Man. He's in it a lot of times. So it was Axie GG took first, second, and third, and Iron
awesome.
Man bested Prathap. So way to go, Yaga third. Wow, man, those are all the old Levox guys, right? So man, they did good. Or Tamil Top, I can't remember. I can't ever remember all of that. Tamil. This one, just real quick, I guess it is May the 4th. Be with you. In case you're into this sort of thing. And assignment. So a person that I wanted to shout out today, Major League, was Kagi John. He is putting out some amazing content quickly. Very, very proud of him and his commitment to the Axie Infinity community. And what's crazy to me is he's also involved with so many other play-to-earn games. But this stuff's great. If everybody could give him a subscribe and follow on YouTube, or however that works on the YouTubers. So everybody support Kagi. He's just doing an incredible job. That's my assignment this week. Digital Nation will rise, man. Look how I did this. Look where the moon. We're going to the
Oh,
moon.
it's above Lunasia.
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
nice, very
yeah.
nice. We need 6 more moons behind it, and
Yep.
we can promote you in terms of Photoshopper for
Yes.
Axie Chat.
Okay. All right.
Good work.
Thank you. I wasn't sure on the hashtag, man. I went with Moon in May. I know that we've talked about a whole bunch of stuff. Um, I feel like every time we hit an all-time high, every time we kind of feel like it's mooning, we're all just wrong. It's just the beginning. It's just kind of getting started. And I'm really excited for our second hour. So, those that are interested in hanging out with us after this and getting into the exclusive stream and some of the exclusive content on the Discord, please look into the Founders Pass. We're excited to be able to offer that and make that happen. Don't want to make a huge focus on that, but I'm really excited to talk about some of the things that are maybe even more in depth and more detailed analysis, more speculation, more risky to think about. But that's some of the fun conversation that we have after too. All right, man. Great show.
Cool.
So very thankful for all the people who tuned in, followers and subs and everything. You guys are so awesome.
For sure. Thanks for Odin for modding for us during this thing. It's been a busier day than normal. Thanks again to Finish Fast, please, for leading us in. And guys, if you still got time in your night, go check out Ray V's after the fact. We're gonna host him here.
Yep, hang in there.
He's getting ready to stream. Awesome content creator that we've been celebrating a lot recently. I know we've got again next Tuesday. We've got another good Axie night planned. Couple good people in the works.
Yep.
I think are already booked. Again, we do this every Tuesday, so keep tuning in. But thanks everybody for your time and supporting us.
Axie hard, everybody. Have a great night in Lunasia.
Take care, guys.